Have we another new dungeon for us? Try for hero returns. Fanga tells the news upon his arrival. He is presently in the solo, giving full report to Lady Minfilia. You should join her at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. Okay. My late arrival nearly cost Margot his life. I wasn't there when that Abolja took him prisoner, and I wasn't there when they served him to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle he survived, but that does not excuse the fact that he should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed him utterly. Just as I'm failing you all. What's done is done, Fangrad. You can ill blame yourself for every... Hi, I'm back. So good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I just had finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Fangrad has told me everything. You've done well to return to us. The perils you face are undeniably great, yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear, and now we can put pays to our long investigation. As suspected, the Molja undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal Ifrit. Nor is it tail limit to Aldar. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa, Luminisa, and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. How they're manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume ether if they are to maintain their presence here. And the stronger they become, the more ether they require. And how ether exists throughout the creation. Flows through all life and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of ether crystals. New follower, King Lalafell. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're okay. Hope you're enjoying yourself today. How are you? Thank you. Thank you so much. 400 follower. Well, there you go. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It is for the reason that incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us for the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of Aether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon toward which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the beings a physical form. Once born, a physical gains strength from its followers' worship. A primal, sorry. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their gods become. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give, and in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yet even as if it took your comrades in this Frau, you alone remained unaffected. That is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is though a greater power protects us. When you first came to us, I told you that Echo would be instrumental in dealing with a primal threat. I trust you now and begin to see why. Recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return, and the immortal flames assure me that it will deal with the aftermath, so you need not to concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of the respite. I will try my very best. You may be sure it won't last long. Once people learn the identity of the hero you felled Ifrits, I fear you have nary a moment to yourself. Lovely. What the hell are you doing, Fangrad? Whether she intends to or not, Minfilia neglected to tell you something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. Whether she intended to or not... Oh, okay, I just read that. What the fuck? It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I'm sorry to report that all of them have been put to death. Flames with whom you are in prison included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. Well, that's a bit mean, isn't it? I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other resource, but once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom you cannot choose but to worship. And so we silence continue our fight, that no more innocents need to be sacrificed. I hope that you'll continue to stand with us. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Till next time. See you later, Fanclad. God forgive me. How many more lives? Louis Soir will never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. Quest complete. Where's the old duty finder today for the roulette? Need a tank? Need a tank. How much a tank? Before we do that, we did get... Okay, the ring is better. Okay. Until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way in Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you travelled around, aiding those who need without thought of reward. Confirmed to find credit, the Scions will benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us that you personally bested the primal Ifrit. You achieved a great deal in a short time and won fame in doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests, Margot, or rather, you have guests. Do I? Beg pardons! Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. I'm given to understand that the Scions of Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. I'm here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Limbs and the Manisa, to offer said hero a place in honor of our ranks. As you can see, Margot, your recent exploits have garnered the attentions of the Grand Companies of Eorzea. Each organization will have Ifrit's bane for its own, so this end all three have sent officers to call you. We'll go one with order, obviously, because that's where we started, so we're not going to back off from there. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how word of Margot's deeds spread so quickly, that the immortal flame should know of his triumph is to be expected. But what of the other grand companies? Eat. Reputation precedes you, Master UK Gamer. 'Tis no ordinary man who can face a primal and emerge a victor. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of valiant men such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure that peace ever reigns over the 12 was word. So you're Gridania. So we're going for the flames. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. Why, even before you aided us against the Emulger and the dead primal, yours is already a respected name in Order. Our people know you and love you well. A man who talent belongs with immortal flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Order. I will go for Order, because that's where I started. The Admiral's not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. For often does she speak of you, friend. It is only natural that we want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Limbs and the Misa, so shores of glory. Lady Minfilia? Very well. Though I am quite sure you need no reminder, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help you clarify your thoughts on this matter. As you know, grand companies will encompassing organizations empowered to call upon the martial, economic and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eurasia: the Maelstrom of Limsa, the Order of Tornado of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ulda. Serving a Grand Company means serving a nation to which it belongs. You'll be charged with its defense and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful service, you'll be furnished with various rewards, such as which may prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you're agonizing over which Grand Company best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day do not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you're entitled to do so. And yet, I can see there is no small choice you face. Thought occurs to me, you will, of course, recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I'm given to understand that the leader of each Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing his addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What do you say, my dear officers? Fine suggestion. As you are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well, let Margot hear the leader speak, then return here with his decision. We eagerly await your answers. Answer. I know full well that adventurers are by the nature a liberty-loving breed, but not best suited to discipline and military service. But I strongly urge you to join the Grand Company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs to be on the lookout for them. Yet, however vigilant you are but one man. In the midst of a grand company, however, you'll be one man amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organisation need not mean leaving another. I hope that we continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it on the days ahead. Grand companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you will field more often in the future. As such, you'll have you carry this link of pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. Eorzea is changing, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but as long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now it is time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak to Tataru. She will appraise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. Lovely. On to Tataru it is then. Yes, want to leave. Sorry, I'm all the attention you're getting. Might hope you sung your praises a little too loudly and often too many people. Next time I'll be sure to hold my tongue, literally, if necessary. Anyway, I expect to know where and when a remembrance service is taking place. Before goes to plan, Gdan's Grand Company, the Order of Tornado, will hold its first of 3 services. The LCC Kali Center will deliver an address at Mikato's Amphitheater. Should probably mention at this point that due to the organisational challenges involved in assembling all the involved parties, it is possible that the order of services might change. Still, there's not so much we can do about that. So make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you go to Ulda, where the Flame General Ruban will be addressing the masses of the Royal Promenade. It is rumoured there's to be a special guest. How exciting. Last but not least, you must make your way to the stateroom in Limsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Melwib will be given her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry and he will admit you. Got all that? Well, off you go then. I hope you find the remembrance service suitably educational. Stress visiting the city-states in my prescribed order. Though your record of impeccable time and luck, the schedule may vary with change in your preferred travel plans. Farewell. Okie dokie. So, let's go Gridania then. Yes. I will do the side quest to unlock this dungeon as well at some point. After this, probably. So I'm gonna do a new dungeon on the way. Who's this? What do you want? Okay. I should probably unlock all this stuff here as well, but... be easier. Where are we going? Oh, it's just here. Okay. I just get a shard while there's waterfall going in my ear. Oh, I've got this one, have I? Oh, apparently so. Alright, voice or more talking? It hurts my jaw so much when you talk
I
so
lost
much.
my son to the calamity.
The 3 seed seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seed Seer.
And you are who?
The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk
pox
the
on that
high
bloody
roads without
Ixo.
fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children!
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
For all
forest.
the elementals!
That was something else, I guess. And it's pissing down in the game.
If you'll permit me, Alfie, no. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
Oh, fuck. The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition and won't summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have been on long and friendly terms with the Gridanians until recently, at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Rama. The Gridanians have no love for war. They consider an open conflict the last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. Twileswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. People are hopeful that restoring the wood and thereby the power of the elementals will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on the Garuda and an insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later will come an all-out war, and when it does, the Order of Winada will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them, then? Alright. Off to Limsa to hear their remembrance. No, I want to do... What do you have to do? I know it is older next, isn't it? It needs the money. Yes. So going up to where we were for the royal banquet, I imagine.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore.
Hurrah! Rauban!
Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden, and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save?
I have no idea.
You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Uldar stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Uldar, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Uldar. As Uldar prospers, so shall her people.
Ja, for Uldar!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Raoban? People of Uldar, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you.
Hey, Tracer, long time no see. Going well, buddy, mate. Yourself?
Much has been made of the wealth of Uldar. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Uldar, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the South!
Yay, I know what's going on. Woo.
Stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
Fancy meeting you again.
I'd say you're following me. The Eldaeans have a long history of conflict with Amolja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrits. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. I have. I slaughtered them. The Eldaeans do not shy from confrontation. If all threatens their precious posterity, they will seek to crush it. So they have dealt with Ifrit thus far. Something is flames each time he is stoked alive. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though he has been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves. The Aldea has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, the resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amolja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Aldeans send their forces to swamp the Primal and know that they invariably will succeed. Each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition, which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder then if Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. Such a desperate hour and adventure experience would be most welcome in addition to their ranks. For their sake, I hope the Flame General's words struck a chord with you. Well, we started in order, so I'm probably going to go with them. You're not bad, thanks, mate. I'm working full-time now, so I can't watch the streams like I used to. Nah, that's alright, Chaser. Don't worry about it, mate. I've always said, in real life, always comes first, and always will. Couldn't sleep tonight before I check out some Twitch. No worries, mate. No worries. Hopefully you're here for the 100% amazing gameplay. Hopefully the job's going well for you, though, bud. What is it you're doing? I can't remember if you've mentioned it before. Well, mentioned what the job was. Here to attend your moment's service. Be quick. The Admiral is due to give her address at any moment. Yes, please.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say.
Oh, thank you, Alphanord. Turn right now, don't do analysis. Hate it sometimes, to be honest, but I'm saying learn to drive and go wherever and do something proper. Yeah, that's it. It's something temporary right now. It's money at the end of the day. Even as long as you enjoy it, though, to be honest, I know you say how sometimes say it, but you can stick it out on you. And then yeah, once you've got loads of drive, you can do whatever you want, and then hopefully find something that you'll enjoy doing for years.
The Crimson Field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the Black Longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilfir's bloody executioners. And together, we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa.
Yeah, I know you did, mate. It's got to keep trying. Eventually it'll come around. You know what life is these days in 2023.
I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage. Yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Not at the moment. I've been playing through,
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom.
I've also been playing. I was streaming Scarlet Nexus, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna stream this for as long as it takes me to finish this in expansion. So this could take a year. I might even become a main Final Fantasy XIV player. I've got games that I need to play, like Final Fantasy 16 and stuff like that, but I've just been too busy playing other things at the minute. Personally, what about you? We've been playing. I got PlayStation Plus, but there's loads of games I want to try, like Ghostwire Tokyo, Medium, and stuff like that.
Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
I'm waiting for Texas Chainsaw Massacre to come out this month, and Phasmophobia at the end of this month for PS5.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep.
Well, that is the aim. It's just pain for everyone.
When I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
while the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now, the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes.
Oh, they're amazing games. I got all the Final Fantasy games. I still need to finish Final Fantasy VIII. It's like 3 years since I last streamed that. It's just got to beat the boss. But 2 and 3 are amazing. Yeah, if you get in the PS5, hold off for it.
How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck?
How much is the PS5 these days? Have they gone down? I'm pretty sure they've gone down now, haven't they? I have a digital one.
There is but one course left
I never
to
buy
us.
discs.
One bearing that will bring us victory. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom.
Oh, did I just skip through that
Stand
by
fast
accident?
with our adventurer brothers against the
I'm sorry.
coming tempest. Mark ye well.
Hate
a crew
fucking
without
touchpads
unity
sometimes.
is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Oh, that's not bad. Baldur's Gate 3 does look really good. I still will play through both the Divinity games.
I'll follow you
I was
to
playing
the
through
Southern Hells,
Diablo
Admiral.
4, but it got so fucking boring. I need to try out Path of Exile as well.
Fancy meeting you again.
Well, obviously. Told you you're following me. I never played the first 2 Baldur's Gates. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa Limonisa is plagued by 2 beast tribes. First one is fish like Sahagin and worshippers of the primal Leviathan. Second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the tribe beast's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Guardians have also chosen to erect a fortress right in Limonisan's backyard. And their thoughts is to say naught of eternal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight among themselves, Guardians whet their blades and watch. If the Lementians are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond the question. Interesting scenes. Michael, it's been a video. You're well, hey. Would I be correct to think that the final remembrance service is now concluded? A moment ago you say, what a coincidence. Just as aside, I trust you remember our guests from Grand Companies. Well, delighted though we are to have them here in Awaken's hands, we're not due to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. I mean, I would have been there a bit sooner if you, be right for bloody teleporter. Oh, I can't, I've got a bloody... Might as well use this, I guess. Divinity 1 and 2 are really good. Some of the best games I've ever played. Yeah, I need to play through them. I just don't know if I'll stream them down the line or do a recording series. Or I'll just do them as a random games episode. But you have to be willing to commit to them. They're deep games. Yeah, I've played them like first few hours of both, and then I don't know. I will eventually get to it. They are on my radar, because you know me, I am. You've watched me so long, I just love. RPG games. And horror games. Let's have a look at your character. Hang on, bear with me. Let me just finish this quest quickly. So I can stop the recording for this episode. Welcome back, where the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as you'd hoped. Age, nations, beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would like to hear more of you, Michael. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on the decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answers. Where am I now?
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady! We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it.
Okay.
We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.